Dum dum da dum 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 da dum. Welcome to CJ's Keto Kitchen. My name is Sarah, and tonight we're going to be making a fabulous recipe that is called Marry Me Chicken. That means that this recipe is going to make someone want to marry you. So let me show you how it's made. Going to the chapel of love. So you are going to want to preheat your oven to 375 degrees.
You've been telling me it's a divorced chicken all day.
It's going to be divorced chicken if you don't treat me nicely. But so far, it's marry me chicken. So let's see what you're going to need. So as the name implies, it is a chicken dish. The original recipe, which is not keto, but it is naturally low carb. So I am going to be following the original recipe. Now they use chicken breast, which you could absolutely do depending on, what's affordable and what you can find. But I prefer thighs because they are lower in carbs, have more nutrition, and they just taste better. You need 2 pounds. Whatever kind of chicken you want to use, it does need to be 2 pounds of chicken. You're also going to need about 3/4 of a cup of chicken broth. Mine is bone broth. That's why it's a little bit cloudy, but you're going to need 3/4 of a cup of that. So you're going to need sun-dried tomatoes, about a half a cup. I have found ones that are already dried, and they're dry. They're not, because usually when I have found sun-dried tomatoes before, they're in a jar, which totally works, but these happen to be dry, and you're going to need a half a cup of them. I have some chopped up basil and thyme here. I'm going to be using fresh herbs because if you want someone to marry you, you should use fresh herbs. I'm joking. You can use dried herbs if you want, but they definitely will want to marry you if you use fresh herbs. And in summertime, you should be able to find them. I have about 2 tablespoons of the basil and about a tablespoon of the thyme. I'm also going to be using a little bit of crushed red pepper. This is in the original recipe, and I do like it a bit spicy. If you don't care for spiciness or you're concerned about your kids or whatever, you can omit the crushed red pepper, but it's really not going to be that hot in the level that we're going to be using. I'm also going to be using a little bit of garlic parmesan seasoning, salt and pepper, of course.
I mean, it's a divorced chicken all day.
It's going to be divorced chicken if you don't treat me nicely. But so far, it's marry me chicken. I'm also going to be putting in 2 cloves of fresh garlic. Mine is already minced here, and so I'm going to do an equivalent of that. You could use garlic powder if you don't have fresh garlic, but I do recommend fresh garlic if you have access to it because it really does make a difference. You're going to need a half a cup of heavy cream for your sauce. And lastly, you're going to need about 1/3 of a cup of Parmesan cheese. I have freshly grated mine here, and I do recommend freshly grated Parmesan if you can do that. It doesn't take but a minute. And you usually find the fresh Parmesan with the regular cheese, and if you can't find it there, it's in the deli. So this is 1/3 of a cup. So I'm going to go ahead and start putting my chicken into sear because I have 4 large thighs. I'm going to do 2 at a time and then put them back on the plate. So I've got 2 already seared, and I'm going to do the other 2. Okay, so I have seared off our chicken thighs, and now I have the drippings left in the bottom of my pan, and I'm going to begin creating the sauce. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to add my cloves of garlic, and you need about 2 cloves. And you're just going to let that cook for about 30 seconds to 1 minute. And then we are going to put our chicken stock in. So this is 3/4 of a cup of chicken stock. And that's going to help release our chicken bits from the bottom. So at this point, we are going to go ahead and add our herbs and our seasoning and also our sun-dried tomatoes so they can start to rehydrate a bit. So I'm putting in my basil and my thyme, the crushed red pepper, and you can use as much as you'd like. A little bit of my garlic parmesan. And that's about 1/2 cup of the sun-dried tomatoes. And we're just going to kind of let that hang out for a minute or two and simmer. Let all of our flavors combine. And that chicken broth has nicely gotten all of the drippings from the bottom of my pan. If you can see that, it's very clear. So that was perfect. So we're just going to let this simmer for a minute or two before we add our heavy cream. All right, everything smells delicious. I'd want to marry me. All right, so we're going to go ahead and add our 1/2 cup of heavy cream, and we're also going to put in our Parmesan cheese. Just gonna let that melt for a second and get creamy, and then we will put our chicken back in and pop this into the oven. All right, we're gonna go ahead and put our chicken back in. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and pop this in the oven for about 12 minutes at 375. All right, into the oven, 375 for 12 minutes. Chicken needs to be 165, and it is 170, 171. It's good. It's cooked.
12-minute timer canceled.
All right, so there it is. I have taken it out of the oven. Be sure and use your hot pad if you're using something from the oven. And I am going to go ahead and let it sit for a minute, and then I will serve it, and I'll show you how I'm going to serve it. So I'm going to go ahead and take one of these thighs and set it in the center of the plate. And then I'm going to scoop up some sauce and put it on top. Make sure we get some of the tomatoes. And then I'm going to sprinkle with a little fresh basil and a little bit more Parmesan cheese. All right, there it is. Marry me chicken. Okay, here it is. This is the Marry Me chicken in all its glory. And the man that I married is going to do a taste test.
Yep, because we's married now. So, I did keep your receipt though.
Oh, did you? I'm thinking that your warranty has now expired.
Yes. It's not. I thought I got you from Costco.
They might take me back.
You're not an electronic device, so I can take you back anytime.
Okay, cool.
All right, so this looks really good. The famous Marry Me chicken. And yeah, let's see how it tastes.
Okay.
I think I do like thighs better just because it actually seem like they're easier to cut too. So yeah, that's really good. We've never had this before. We saw this actually on TV. And that is surprisingly good. I'm not sure why I say surprisingly, but I'm always leery about stuff that we find online recipes we find, because we've had some experiences
Not many, but a couple.
where we've, well, not just us, but the kids.
Yes. Oh my gosh, where Cindy made something that had like 6 sticks of butter, and she wondered why it didn't turn out or something. It was terrible.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we've made a few things in this house that were online, that were supposedly sensations, but this is really good. This is a good recipe. Nice flavor profile. The cream, the sauce, the tomatoes are really nice. I like how those tomatoes they didn't plump up, but they kind of rehydrate it.
Yeah.
So no, I think this is really good. I did ask you why there wasn't more sauce on it.
Yeah.
And you explained that you pour this, the ideal is that you put it on a plate and then put the sauce on top of it.
Exactly.
And that works.
And it is a sauce. It's not a gravy.
It's not a gravy.
Yeah, it is going to be thin. Of course, it will thicken up a little bit, if you serve it again the next day.
It's gotten a little thicker even.
Yeah, it is. It's a sauce. It's not a gravy.
So for, my gravy folks.
Yes, this is not a gravy.
This is not a gravy.
It's a sauce.
So don't be sitting around saying, this ain't no gravy. Because you're right. It's not no gravy.
Not gravy.
It's not
It's
gravy.
sauce.
It's sauce. Good job, baby. Thank you for making it. Bye-bye.
What are you doing?
I mean the gravy sauce.
Are you licking your plate?
No.
That's a lie. It's in your beard.
Whatever. You know that you're kind of funny.
I told you the A word is not working this afternoon, not in any room. So I have to use the Fett app. Not Boba Fett, not Django Fett, just regular Fett electric. Just so you know.
Okay, thanks. More than I needed to know.
The force is not with us. The force is not working.
Let's get going. For, my gravy folks.
Yes, this is not a gravy.
This is not a
It's
gravy.
A sauce.
So don't be sitting around saying, this ain't no gravy. Because you're right. It's not no
It's
gravy.
not gravy.
It's not
It's
gravy.
sauce.
It's sauce.